Pastor George Borghardt, and this is another Higher Things video short. The Medicine of Immortality. That's the subject of today's Higher Things video short. Ignatius of Antioch, 70-ish AD, church father, in his epistle to the Ephesians, said this about chapter 20, that the Lord's Supper was the medicine of immortality, the antidote to prevent us from dying, that which causes that we should live forever in Jesus. Imagine a pill that gave eternal life. Imagine a medicine that would heal all your illnesses. Wouldn't you want it? Wouldn't you take it? Wouldn't you want it like every week or as often as you ate the bread and drank the cup? Ignatius, Bishop of Antioch, the third Bishop of Antioch, probably about 70 AD, took over, lived into the 2nd century, supposedly a student of St. John, but that doesn't matter. But the idea that we viewed in the church as the Lord's Supper as a vivifying food, a life-giving supplement that would give us eternal life is astounding. Whoever eats my flesh and drinks my blood has life, and I will raise them up on the last day, says Jesus. Take, eat my body given for you. Take, drink my blood shed for you for the remission of sins. As often as you eat this bread and drink this cup, you proclaim the Lord's death until he comes. The Lord's Supper saves because Jesus saves. Because Jesus gives to us his body and his blood. He delivers all that he did for us with his holy life and his bitter sufferings and death in his body and his blood. And we eat that body and blood under the bread and wine, and faith, which grasps hold of the word in the bread and the wine, saves. It's not that the bread and the wine save. It's not that the doing of the thing saves. It's faith which believes, or let's say it better. It's Jesus who saves. And he is received by faith in the bread and the wine, which is his body and his blood. A true vivifying food. Now, the Lord's Supper also can be a deadly food when eaten sort of despisedly, when you don't discern the body and blood of the Lord, when you haphazardly receive the sacrament, you eat it to your own destruction. And that's why many, says St. Paul, have fallen asleep. But that which is rejected or not received by faith, when received by faith, when received in Jesus, gives life because it delivers Christ. Now, is it only a life-giving food when it is received by faith, or does faith make it a sacrament? Well, the answer to that question is that Jesus makes it a sacrament. His words, his promises, they make it a sacrament. It is a sacrament. It is his body and blood, whether we believe it or not. And that's why it's either eaten to life or eaten to death. If you take my prescriptions, they will do you harm. If you take your prescriptions, the medicine that's given to you, they might give you life. Here is food that when eaten in faith, believing that Jesus died and rose again for us, believing that the forgiveness of sins is located in the bread and wine, gives life, and life that goes on and on forever. Think about that the next time you consider how often you should receive the Lord's Supper. That food gives life. It's a medicine of immortality. I'm Pastor George Borghardt, and this has been another Higher Things video short.